How's it going, everybody? It's Matt again. Today we're going to take a look at another third-party transformer. This time I'm going to kind of go back in time a little bit because I recently acquired this guy. It's a little bit rarer nowadays to find this guy, but it is NEWAGE's H05 Maverick, or their Smokescreen. I don't have the other two Datsuns yet. I have them on the way because I figured, Magic Square is just not doing a good job of releasing the Carbots and releasing their different variants. So New Age has done a pretty good job of that. So I think I'm just going to kind of invest in getting New Age Carbots at this point, even if they are a little bit smaller. But I digress. This is Smokescreen. This is a pretty old figure. I mean, I think it came out in 2019. It wasn't that long ago, but this is one of their first releases. But we'll take a look at the box real quick. He comes in here in this little window, but obviously he's not in the box, but he'll be in bot mode sitting in there. There's the side of the box, back of the box. I'm not even really sure what episode that's a reference to, but I'm sure it's a reference to the cartoon. But yeah, that's about it for the box. It's going to come with a set of instructions. I suppose this is for all three of them, for Prowl, Blue Streak, and Smokescreen. So I don't have the other two yet, but shares the instructions. So probably transform just about the same. But here he is. He is a very small car. I haven't had any of the New Age Carbots yet. This is my first one that I've gotten from them, and it's very Hot Wheel sized. It's basically like a little Hot Wheel. But obviously it comes packaged in robot mode. I always like to start my videos with them in their alt modes. So, but I mean, it's pretty well painted, like the decals and whatnot. The Autobot symbol I put on there, so obviously that wouldn't be on there. But pretty good looking little Autobot. Very tiny. He rolls fine. I will say that just because the way that he transforms, obviously you see that his arms are packed under here, and his head for some reason it sticks out. I don't know if it's supposed to be pushed in farther. I couldn't figure out any other way of getting it to sit better, but it kind of rubs on the ground a little bit when he rolls. So it's not like he's like lifted up or anything, but it doesn't really sit flush with the wheels on my copy anyways. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong there or what. But yeah, pretty good looking little alt mode. As far as accessories, he's going to come with just his little blaster. I'm sure this is probably the same one that Prowl and Blue Streak come with too. But he does have these two unique parts for his back cannons, because smoke screens are a little bit different compared to the other two. But I will show how those go on when I transform him. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and just do that. Let's transform him real quick. So it's a pretty simple transformation. All that we really have to do is lift his arms up here, and then we're going to kind of rotate them out. And as we rotate them out, we're going to lift them up here, and then they're going to peg in like so. And then just kind of bring his forearms down, bring his hand down, and then turn the forearm around. Same thing on the other side. Lift that up, out of the way. Peg it in, bring that down, fist down, rotate around, and there's the arms. The head here we're going to kind of take down and turn it around so that it's in the right position, because now we're going to take these doors and open them up to either side. These little window panels are going to come down and rest against there, and then this section here with this the roof of the car is going to lift up off of this and come up on that double hinge. And then this whole section here will be kind of compressed down, and then you got to kind of squeeze his head through this section, watch that crest, and then bring it down and peg in that little white tab into this black part like that. And then this whole section will just kind of get out of the way for now. I want to lift it up so it's out of the way. So then now we can rotate the waist all the way around. And now this part will come down. Or I'm sorry, it won't come down. It'll actually rest up. It'll rest up against this part. And that's the top half done. And then the legs here, you're going to kind of pull down on this section here, and it'll lift off the rear window panel here. And then you're just going to kind of pull his legs out on these dual hinges right there. And then these little heel parts will come down like that. and then just split the legs, and that's it. Super simple, nice and fun, easy transformation. I don't think he looks too bad. I will say his head looks like absolutely enormous to me. He's a little wonkily proportioned. I think that his legs should probably be a little bit longer. But I mean, this is one of New Age's first figures. First 5 anyways. This is number 5. So not too bad. He does have gorilla arms a little bit. But I like it. Fun little transformation, fun little thing to mess with. As far as his back cannons, these little tabs here will just tab into either side of this red part right here. You can just put them on like that. And like that. And these do kind of worry me a little bit just because of how tight they are to get in there. I'd be worried about breaking those if I pull too hard on it, you know. So just be careful with those. And then, of course, he can hold his little gun just fine in his hand. And that's about it with him. So as far as articulation, I went ahead and removed his gun so I could show. I might remove these too, but or I can just lift him out of the way. His head is on a ball joint, but it's attached to the back of the head. So you can get it up pretty high, not really down at all. That's really about it. And you can turn it, but it's really limited by the collar here. So you can lift up the head and turn it, but it doesn't look natural at all. So that's not the best in the world, and it's kind of hard because I got big fingers. But I mean, it does what it has to do. The shoulder parts, the little panel here that came out from the car, you know, when the arms flip up, you can use that as kind of like a shoulder joint here, if you want to count that. It does have a ball joint in the actual shoulder itself, which you kind of have to lift it up out of the way, otherwise the wheel will get in the way, but you can turn it all the way around, you know, minding the wing back here. But you can get out decent far, you know, it's a ball joint. There is no rotation up here. There is rotation here at the actual forearm just because it's a ball joint, so you can count that, I guess, if you want. But he does have a double jointed elbow that way, so you can get the full 180 on that, which is nice. But no wrist articulation. Doesn't have, he does have a little bit of an ab crunch, doesn't he? It's kind of a weird ab crunch, though, because it's kind of a crotch crunch. Best way I can say it is because the hinge is actually built into the skirts, so I don't know if that really counts or not, but I think that's what it was intended to be. He also rotates at the waist 360 degrees. Oh, and his wings back here, I did forget to mention these can move on this joint here, and then there's of course that pin there, so you can pivot the wings up and down however you want to. Back down to the hips, they are on ball joints. You can get as far forward as you really need, as far back as you really need, and you can go out all the way, so pretty good. I have a little mushroom peg down here in the thigh, so you can rotate that all the way around. And he does technically have a double jointed knee, just because of the transformation joint, so you can get, well, as close as you can without, you know, the stuff getting in the way of the foot, but almost 180 degrees. And then, of course, the foot itself, being this whole section of the car, it actually does have a little ball joint in there. So you can, of course, move front and back for how you did in the transformation, but you can also rock side to side, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, decent little bit of articulation on him. Definitely, it's missing the wrist articulation, no real ab crunch, which is whatever, and the head doesn't have the best articulation in the world, but, you know, Smokescreen's design, he kind of looks like a thumb anyways. You know, his head doesn't, it just kind of melts into his body, so it is what it is. I'm interested to see if Prowl and Blue Streak are better, because I don't have them yet, but I'll take a look at them eventually. But yeah, there's articulation. Alright, time for some quick size comparisons. So, like I said, I don't really have any other New Age car box to compare him to, but I can show him off with some later products. We have New Age's Bumblebee, Beachcomber, their Warpath that just came out a little while ago, and their Kickback, one of their Insecticons. And here he is with a couple of New Age's bigger ones. Here's their Bone Crusher and their Toxitron from the Prime mold. And here's just some random stuff. There's Magic Square's Optimus Prime, the Iron Factory's Soundwave, and Iron Factory's version of Smokescreen that just came out just a little while ago. All right, and that's going to do it for NEWAGE H05 Maverick, their Smokescreen. And I realize I messed up his wing here. But I know that he's old, and he does have kind of, he's got the big old Datsun feet that kind of make him kind of awkward to move around and whatnot. But man, I actually really like this guy. This in the third party verse, especially in legend scale stuff, where things have become really complicated and sometimes not very fun to manipulate at all. This guy is kind of like, I realize that he's really old, but it's kind of a breath of fresh air for something for me to be handling recently. He's a pretty cool little figure. Definitely see, he's showing his age a little bit. He's almost more like a downscaled, like Hasbro Deluxe class figure than he is what we would hold to like today's standards with NEWAGE, where they're getting closer to like masterpiece level engineering. But he doesn't really have to be anything more than what he is. I mean, he's a pretty simple character, and he's got a pretty simple design and pretty simple transformation. So I really like him. He's of course lacking a little bit in the articulation, like some of the newer stuff that NEWAGE has put out, but like I said, this is one of NEWAGE's first products, so I'm not, I can't really ding them on that too much. But I don't really have much else to say about this guy. Of course, if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Of course, always giving a shout out to my patrons over there on Patreon. If you feel like support me over there, the links for that are in the description. And of course, if you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out some of my other stuff. I have a playlist on there with all my other Transformers reviews. And of course, if you like my Armored Core stuff, then, check that out too. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.